Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. If you have not subscribed to my channel so far, my friends, please subscribe to my channel, and just like you profit in some way or the other through the learning that I bring to you, through my research, through my experiences, similarly you will also be able to not only get the knowledge, the learning, but also help others also get access to the same knowledge, the same learning. Now, in the number of videos that we have made about planets placed in different houses, planets placed in different signs, one of the series which we are also doing is planets placed in different houses in the D9 chart and planets also placed in different signs in the D9 chart. We have done all the planets placement in the 12 houses in the D9 chart except the placement of the planet Mars in the different houses in the D9 chart. I kept this for last because Mars is one of the most important denotations for the D9 chart. The reason being is Mars is the general. Mars is the general which fights for the soul, the king, the sun. And what are we into this world other than fighting for the soul, elevating the soul and helping the soul be able to manifest itself into the hereafter. So Mars being the general, the biggest role that is cut out is for the planet Mars. That's why Mars also is the Lagna Lord of the Kal Purush Kundi. Second, Mars also rules the 8th house, the house of life and death. And Mars is the only planet which can go into the depths of the 8th house, even being able to conquer death. But at the same time, Mars is the one, because of the being the Lagna Lord of the Kal Purush Kundi, it is the one which takes the fight to the opposite end, which means whichever the challenges are brought to you, to the soul, Mars is the first energy which stands in front of it. So Mars denotation in the 12 houses of the D9 chart becomes very important because this is the challenge thrown directly by the zodiac to Mars. Whenever Mars goes, or whichever house Mars goes into the 12 houses in the D9 chart, it is a challenge thrown to the soul by the zodiac to be able to conquer those areas because that area has not been conquered yet. That's why Mars has been placed in that house in your D9 chart. So let's jump into and find how Mars's placement in the different houses in the D9 chart can throw up different probabilities for us, because the D9 chart is the house of, or the chart of probabilities rather than possibilities, which the D1 chart is. So when Mars goes into the first house, into the Lagna of the D9 chart, so the biggest challenge given to the soul by the zodiac is to be able to conquer your own self, your own ability to fight in the right direction, because somewhere you lost your way earlier, not being able to focus on the right areas of life, and your energy got dissipated in the wrong areas or in the ordinary areas or the weak areas or very minor areas of life. Here Mars going into the Lagnas or zodiac is saying the biggest fight is for life itself, the overall larger manifestation of life, because of which Mars has been given to be the Lagna Lord of the Kal Purush Kundi. You cannot fight for minor areas. The biggest battles is the one which Mars or the general has to fight. So here, when Mars gets into the Lagna, zodiac is telling you that different fights will be given to you, different challenges will be given to you in this life, and the larger challenges will be given to you rather than minor challenges. So the challenge will be to think right, the challenge will be to keep your health right, the challenge will be to strategize right, the challenge will be to act in the right areas, the challenge will be to act for the right people, stand up for the right causes, to fight for the right areas, rather than dissipate the energy into any one thing. So rather than fight only for your work, or fight only for your love, or fight only for your family, or fight only for your country, this is a fight where your existence is to manifest different areas of your life where you make it more meaningful. So whichever challenge the zodiac will throw at you because of where Mars is placed in your D1 chart, so your overall life's manifestation will be that core area, but also overall life's manifestation, not to miss even one step wrong, because Mars in the Lagna in the D9 chart is one of the most critical areas which the zodiac has given to the individual as a challenge. So now see where Mars is connected or placed in the D1 chart. Say Mars is placed in the 11th house in the D9 chart. So here the biggest challenge given to the person is to be able to conquer societal challenges, societal distractions, those areas of society which may distract you from your main goal. Your main goal is the elevation of the soul. So sometimes society may give you the fun areas, those areas where you may feel that you may be able to enjoy your more, you may be able to get more leisure your more. So not to be able to get distracted from those areas which will take away your focus, but to learn to fight for the larger societal goals. This is also manifestation where if you are working in a large organization, which the 11th house represents, which means that you are working for the masses, may not be directly as the general for the army, but being given a role in a large organization which is catering to the needs of the masses, and there to be fighting for the quality, to be fighting for your team, to be fighting for the right branding, to be fighting for the right messaging, and to be fighting for the right objectives because of which your company is in a service, is in a certain product that you're launching. So this is a larger fight where you fight for the masses indirectly, whether through working in a large organization, catering for a product, catering for a service, or maybe directly fight for some cause of society, maybe for the climate change, maybe for women's affairs, maybe for children's matters. So something that you take up and then you fight for it, you stand up for it, or in a large organization you manifest that. Or the other thing could also be that how you will be able to keep away from the distraction of the society, and without getting distracted be able to cater to what the soul's goal is given to you, where you don't distract in minor areas but overall life, in all areas of your life you keep your focus, you keep the energy. Now if Mars goes into the second house of your D9 chart, so your zodiac is giving you the challenge, that the biggest challenge given to you, the biggest conquering that you need to do, the biggest battle that you will need to fight will be to fight for resources, will be to fight for nourishment, will be to fight for the values and principles, will also be to be able to fight for your own honor, or to fight for the honor of the community, for the honor of the team or the family. So here many a times zodiac will give you a challenge of how you will be, some struggles will be given to you to be able to get the nourishment right, to get the income right, to get the livelihood right. So many times the person may struggle to get the right income, to be able to get the right savings also, because many times we are trying to earn money and trying to save money, but we are not able to do that, and also to do it with the right principles and values. So the fight is to be able to get the resources, to get the nourishment, but without sacrificing your principles and values, sometimes standing up for your principles and values even at the cost of your remuneration, even at the cost of less earnings. So that fight is given to you, how you are able to traverse the journey of life, traverse the difficult parts of life without conquering, without letting go of your principles and values, but still getting the nourishment for yourself and for the family. So that is the fight which has been given to you by the zodiac. Now see where Mars is placed in your D9 chart. Say Mars is placed in the 12th house in your D9 chart. So here many times your fight will be for the wrong reasons, or you may even either dissipate too much energy in fighting for money, livelihood, without looking at, are you sacrificing your principles and values just because you need to get some remuneration? Are you bootlicking somebody just because you feel you need to get more money? Are you fighting for money more without caring for that you also need to grow, you also need to get the right designation, you also need to get the right authority? But you're saying, no, money is everything for me, give me money, I don't care for the promotion, give me money. So are you fighting for the wrong causes? Are you sacrificing your principles and values? So many times the focus should not move away from the goal given to you and not fight for the wrong causes, and also spend more money in the wrong causes, or spend more money without thinking, rushing into those things which may give you pleasure, which may give you entertainment, wasting your money in some wrong investment resources and spoiling the savings which the second house represents. And that is the challenge given to you. That is the battle that you need to win. Then Mars goes into the second house in your D9 chart. If Mars goes into the third house of your D9 chart, so the biggest conquering that you need to do is the ability to work for self, to stand up for self and do something for yourself in a self-enterprise role and come up on tops. Even if you're working in some organization not able to work for self, there you will fight for being given enough authority, enough flexibility, and so many times you will fight for getting more control, getting more authority where you are working. So in life you will not like that somebody is trying to control you, trying to tell you where to sit, what to eat, how to come to work, how not to come to work, how to work, how not to work, how to deal with your team, how to communicate. You will not like that. You will want your own flexibility. So many times this can be a challenge where you push back too hard when somebody tries to correct you, because there is too much willpower given to you in the third house. There is strong manifestation that I need to be my own boss. So sometimes this may also come out in your communication, where you may rub people the wrong way. Now if Mars goes into friendly signs in the D9 chart in the third house, then the communication may be aggressive, assertive, but yet be powerful. If it gets into inimical sign, then you may also rub people the wrong way, use language which might even put people off. Now see where Mars is getting connected to which house in your D1 chart. Say in your D1 chart, Mars is placed in the 9th house. So yeah, in your communication skills, in your ability to be able to stand up for yourself, you will want to get more learning. You may want to acquire more learning. However, sometimes in trying to acquire learning, you may also get into the wrong books of your bosses or your supervisors, managers, or the people who are your gurus or your teachers, or also maybe rub father the wrong way, because your communication can be a little crass, your communication can be a little assertive. But this is also a placement where the more education qualification that you get, the better. However, the placement here means that the more education that you get, you need to be able to use it more for self-enterprise and to be able to get more authority and more control, so that you can achieve more in life rather than let go. So acquiring new learning is a challenge even to you, and to be able to use the higher manifestation, the higher experiential learning of life, and through that be able to manifest your power, your authority, your influence, your self-enterprise, but also to be able to manage your communication well, so that you don't come across as somebody who's too crass and then you spoil the larger manifestation of the soul. If Mars goes into the 4th house of your D9 chart, now this is a tougher placement for Mars, because Mars in the 4th house in the domestic life area is a weaker energy, because the 4th house has Cancer energies, and 4th house, and in Cancer sign Mars gets debilitated. So here the zodiac is telling you that the biggest fight for you is how you conquer the areas of the home, the harmony of the home, without losing your mind, without losing your temper, without getting too aggressive. How you are able to focus on the areas of the house, to keep peace in the house, to keep people safe in the house, to build the house, to make your house more comfortable, to be able to do some home improvement, and to be able to create better houses, bigger houses, maybe more houses, and also to fight for the harmony in the home, the safety of your family, to keep your family, rather than fight against the family, stand up for the family, fight for the causes of the family. So yeah, many times you may have to keep the energy focused toward the constructive areas of family, rather than getting too involved in the matters of the home, trying to control who will do what, who will say what, how people will live their life, how people will keep the home, and because of that creating unnecessary tensions at home. Now see where Mars is placed in the D1 chart, in which house it goes. Say in the D1 chart Mars goes into the 8th house. So here what it means is that many times challenges, sudden issues, sudden problems may create issues at home. So your focus, even if you are trying to focus on your work, in your profession, in your career, in your job, but because of sudden issues at home, connected to family, every now and then you have to move your focus away. And many times what happens, your focus is at home because you want to create more security, more financial security also. However, the challenges which are thrown up to you every now and then don't allow you to focus on your home, on your constructive energy in your domestic matters, but it creates a more temperamental issue at home. But it also means the more you are able to overcome the obstructions that the life is throwing at you, the challenges the life is throwing at you, the issues that the life is throwing at you, the better you are able to cope, the better harmony you will be able to create at home. The better you are able to face those challenges, those issues, the better assets you will be able to make, the better harmony you will be able to create, the better peace you will be able to create. So being calm even in the most challenging of the situations, and being able to face the challenges that the zodiac is throwing at you headlong, and then still keeping your peace, still keeping your harmony, still keeping the constructive role that zodiac is given to you when Mars is placed in the 4th house in your D9 chart. If Mars is placed in the 5th house in your D9 chart, so here the fight is for the areas of the 5th house, the higher manifestation of the 5th house rather than the rudimentary or the basic manifestation of the 5th house. So here, while the energy, the focus is children, investments, what you like to do, what you love to do, romances, all of these will also be thrown at you, but these may be thrown to you as challenges. For example, there may be challenges in the children's life, because of which the focus goes there. Sometimes there may be challenges thrown to you in your romantic life, and then the test for you is how you are able to overcome those kind of energies. Sometimes the challenges are given to you because of a sudden change in job, loss of job, moving away from your family, moving away from your city, and then being placed some other place. So the upheavals of the career, of the job may also be given to you. But the biggest challenge for you is how you are able to conquer those by keeping the right focus, depending on where Mars goes into the D1 chart. Say Mars goes into the Lagna itself in the D1 chart. So what this means is that the biggest goals that the Lagna of the D1 represents, you will be able to get through the areas of the 5th house, because Mars is placed in the 5th house in the D9 chart, which means many times the upheavals which the career is getting created through, and then you are being placed in some other areas, the upheavals, the challenges which your romantic life is given to you, or the upheavals and challenges which the children may give to you, or the upheavals and challenges that the investments may bring to you, those will be the ones which will be testing you, how you handle them, how you face them, how you are able to do it with dignity, how you are able to do it with calm, how you are able to do it with right tactics, right intellectual capacity, right thinking prowess, which the Lagna represents. And only through that you will be able to manifest the true objective of your life, that you are given different areas and the zodiac will test you in all of these areas, or some area representing the 5th house, how you are able to come up on tops. Now if Mars goes into friendly signs, then you may be given more strength, more success also. If Mars goes into inimical signs, then the challenge may be harder, the challenge may be more difficult. Now if Mars goes into the 6th house of your D9 chart, so here the zodiac is telling you that the biggest challenge for you will be how you overcome issues of the 6th house, how you are able to overcome the issues connected to your colleagues, people who work under you, and also one of the issues which may be given to some of you may be also through debts, loans. Some of you may face sicknesses, some of you may face challenges of court cases or inimical forces, some of you may even face it from your family. So some or the other challenge representing the 6th house will be given to you, but sometimes the challenge may also be given to you to fight for others. For example, getting into something like law, into law enforcement, like getting into something like keeping justice, being a lawyer, being a barrister, being a judge, or being in the police force, or even being a doctor, being a healer, being a problem solver, and also sometimes being the leader of a union where workers are looking up to you, or even if you're not the union leader, a team is looking up to you at your work. Sometimes you may not even be given the role of the team, but when you face issues or when you see issues coming to you for your team, do you talk up for them? Do you speak up for them? Because that is the role given to you, because of which your leadership will shine. You will become a true general when you stand up for causes. This could also be fighting for the cause of animals, doing something for the animals, becoming an animal veterinarian, or being involved in animal rescue, or doing something for the flora and fauna of the world. So somewhere, as a healer, as a problem solver, as a voice which stands up for others is the role given to you, or some other challenges like sicknesses, deaths, or also what the zodiac may throw up at you. Now this will manifest stronger depending on where Mars goes into the D1 chart. So Mars goes into the 12th house of your D1 chart. Here it means that your service could get connected to foreign lands. Your service could get connected to hospitals, to clinics. Service could also get connected to the police force, the armed forces. Service could also get connected to, in some way, being more solitary at work, even if you're working within your country. So, for example, you are given a role where you need to sit alone and you need to finish your work, you need to submit your work, and then you go home. There is very less team interaction. Or you get sent to a location where you don't have many people working around you. You are the lone person. Maybe you are the person who is a soldier on the border where you don't see many people for miles. You will be given the post and other person will come and replace you. So sometimes this life can also become a little seclusive when Mars is in the 6th house in your D9 chart and it goes into the 12th house, your D1 chart. However, here the challenge is that if you are able to overcome the seclusion, the solitude, either in the body, physical body, or in the mind, stand up for causes, then this is a very good placement, because Mars in your 12th house in your D1 chart shows that here you are fighting directly for the hereafter. You are fighting for the moksha, and if it goes into the 6th house, which means through your service you can manifest moksha itself, you can manifest salvation itself, because the general fights for the soul. If Mars goes into the 7th house in your D9 chart, here the biggest fight that you need to do, the biggest struggle that you need to overcome is the struggle connected to people, not only your family, not even your team, but people in general who you meet on a day-to-day basis. So sometimes what will happen, that one person will sometimes rub you off wrongly, or will always instigate things. For example, it could be either your spouse, it could be somebody at work, some team member at work, or maybe a boss at work. Anybody who you get in touch on a day-to-day basis, one of them can be the troublemaker for you. Or it could also mean how you work in teams. Can you work in teams? Can you work in partnership? Can you manifest partnership? Or you try to control others? Or you try to be authoritative over others? So this is a challenging placement, just like Mars in the 4th house, where it is a troublemaking thing, how you keep the harmony at work. Similarly here, how do you keep the harmony in your marital life? How do you keep harmony in your team life? How do you keep harmony in a role where you need to get connected to other people? So this is the biggest fight for you, how you are able to work in a team environment rather than controlling others. Now if it goes into friendly sign, then you will be able to overcome, you will be able to do very well. However, if it gets into an inimical sign, then this is surely a battle at hand. Then see how Mars is placed in your, which house it is placed in your D1 chart. Say Mars goes into the 3rd house on your D1 chart. So here it shows that your biggest challenge, your biggest issues connected to team could be how you are able to communicate with them, how you are able to share understanding with them, how you are both able to come to common terms and then work together. Especially because the 3rd house is also the house of your willpower. So your willpower will be tested. Your ability to manifest how much control you want will be tested, and through that you will be able to either harmonize the areas of the 7th house, keep your marital life happy, keep your team happy, keep those areas of your life under control and in harmony, which you get connected on a day-to-day basis. Or this can also be one of the biggest challenges, where it can even lead the soul to perish. Now if Mars goes into the 8th house of your D9 chart, this is one of the strongest placements for Mars, because Mars rules the natural house, 8th house represented by the Scorpio energies. So Mars is pretty comfortable in the 8th house, but the biggest challenge given to you is to be able to overcome and to understand the larger mysteries of life rather than look at the rudimentary manifestation. So this is not the day-to-day ordinary challenges that suddenly your car got into small bumps, or your insurance got relapsed, or there was a small burglary at home. These are not the minor challenges that you may be getting on a day-to-day basis. Here the larger role that Mars is given, that you understand the deeper mysteries of life. So through different situations, what is the larger lesson that you are learning because of the obstacles, challenges and issues that life is throwing at you, rather than thinking, oh, I lost my insurance claim because I did not renew my insurance on time, so I need to learn that. This is not the manifestation. The larger manifestation will be, are you prepared to face day-to-day lives? And because the 8th house is the house of moksha, here the zodiac is trying to remind you that the soul's journey is to be able to overcome the hurdles connected to it, to be getting into the hereafter. Have you done enough to work for the manifestation of the soul journey into the hereafter, to overcome the obstacles and challenges? Or are you too busy living life on a day-to-day basis? The longevity of a day-to-day basis is what is concerning you, or the longevity of the soul in the hereafter? So here sometimes the challenges could be deeper meaning rather than at the rudimentary level, and it's for you to be able to understand them. That will be manifested from where Mars is placed in your Lagna chart, in your D1 chart. See if Mars is placed in the 5th house in your D1 chart. So here the challenges connected to children, romance, career, investments, what you like to do, what your love interests are. Those will be the biggest challenges for you. So for example, if you have a strong artistic ability, very good artistic ability is given to you, how much are you able to fight for it, learn it, and to be able to excel in it, and to be able to do more using that ability for others, to be able to create more harmony, to be able to create more life for others, to create more happiness in other people's lives. If you are in love with somebody, then how you are able to overcome the challenges in a love relationship, or able to overcome your ego, able to overcome your carnal desires, but to look at romance or love as the deeper manifestation of the higher meaning of love rather than the carnal basic meaning of love. Where can you look beyond looks? Can you look beyond temperament? Can you look beyond financial gains that the person brings in, and can you look at the soul level to connect at the person at a deeper level? That can be a big challenge that the zodiac is throwing at you at a soul level by Mars getting placed in the 8th house in your D9 chart. If Mars is placed in the 9th house of your D9 chart, so here the biggest challenge for you is how do you learn, not only through books or academic learning, but through life situations. So sometimes in your learning, in getting degrees, in getting qualifications, you will also be connected to some career. You may also be connected to some vocation. You may also be connected to some job that you're doing. But are you looking at the rudimentary level, the basic level of getting a livelihood through your education? And that is the higher manifestation of your goal to learn, rather than understanding that Mars in the 9th house is also to be able to stand up for your beliefs, to be able to stand up to the learning, the higher learning the life is given to you. So what is your faith and belief in? What is the higher faith that you have in? Do you have a higher faith in the goodness of life? Do you have a higher faith in certain living mannerisms? Do you have a higher faith in what life really means? Do you have a higher faith in what life's main meaning is? What goal of the soul is? Have you learned that? Have you been able to overcome those challenges? And have you able to learn that through your learning, the high level of learning, at a philosophical level, at the soul's level? And that will be manifested to you, what challenges are thrown to you where Mars is placed in your D1 chart. If Mars is placed in the 4th house of your D1 chart, so here the work is cut out for you, that how you deal with the matters of home, how do you deal with the matters in your domestic life, how do you deal with your family, how do you deal with your spouse, how do you deal with your mother, how do you deal with your children? And through that, you understand the deeper meaning of life, that is not enough to build a home, to build walls, but it is important to build a home through how you create harmony, how you are able to sacrifice your temperament, your ego, for the cause of family, for the peace at home, for the happiness of others, to be able to bring smile to other people's lives, to be able to bring a smile to other people's lips. Now here, many times, here the goal may be seeming to be very small, that I need to bring in harmony and happiness to my family, but it may not be easy. The other thing is, when Mars gets into the 4th house, it also gets you connected to housing, to real estate. So here the higher learning that the zodiac is given to you to learn is also to be able to create better homes for others, better lifestyle for others, better, more comfortable lives for others, and not only for others but also to their families. Are you able to use your learning, your education, to be able to create better lives for others, better family life for others? And that is the challenge given to you by the zodiac when Mars gets into the 4th house in your D1 chart, but when it is in the 9th house in your D9 chart. Now if Mars is in the 10th house of your D9 chart, this is one of the most powerful placements of Mars. One reason is, of course, the 10th house has Capricorn energies, and Mars gets exalted in the Capricorn sign. However, the larger, deeper manifestation here is that, are you able to understand your karma, your work ethics? And your karma is not only to work in your career or to go and do your job, but your higher karma is to be able to understand what is the meaning of life, which is the bigger fight you have come for. Have you understood what the deeper fight is, which the bigger fight is, which you need to be able to conquer? Where the higher designation that you need to get at a soul's level is through that work, through that manifestation, through that denotation. That will be seen through how your Mars is placed in which house in your D1 chart. Now say Mars is in the 6th house of your D1 chart. So the 6th house represents all those people who may not be able to fight for themselves, don't have a voice of their own, or those people who are in problems or challenges or sicknesses or in debts, in loans, or are surrounded by court cases, or not able to speak up for themselves, not able to fight for themselves. So your karma here, the zodiac is given to you, is to fight up for them, to stand up for them, through your work getting connected to the 6th house manifestation, either getting into the police force, getting into healing, problem solving, through analytical skills, through manufacturing, through medical profession, through pharmaceutical, through animal care, or if nothing else, to standing up for your team, fighting for your team, fighting for your team's work, for the project's work. And through that you will be able to validate your karma when you are able to give voice to those people whom you have been given the responsibility for. The higher meaning that you are able to manifest, the better, because the zodiac will pay you back. The better karma you do, the better the soul's elevation will happen. A truly powerful placement when Mars goes into the 10th house of your D9 chart. Now when Mars goes into the 11th house of your D9 chart, here the manifestation, the strongest manifestation from the zodiac, or the challenge given to you, is how you are able to overcome the cardinal desires of society, where fun, adventure, friends, spending time with friends, spending time with social life, going to pubs, letting your hair down, and getting distracted by friends, sometimes outside of your relationship also. How you are able to overcome those attractions, those distractions, and look at the larger goal of society. And that larger goal of society will be seen through how or where your Mars is placed in your D1 chart, and you are able to understand the larger goal. So you are fighting for societal larger causes. Even if you are working in a large organization, through working in large organization, of course you are paying back to society. You are doing something for the larger cause of society, for the larger gains of society, and fighting hard for the goal. You may also be able to do better in your work, and also get elevated in your work, get promotions, and grow higher in your larger organization, only so that you are able to do better for society. That manifestation will come from where Mars is placed in your D1 chart. Say Mars is placed in the 7th house in your D1 chart, which means that whatever you do for the society, you will have to do it in a team environment. You need to do in a team effort. You will have to partner with others, because society is about people. Society is not you alone. In society, you are not the king or the general to rule others, but serve for others, to serve others, to work for others, to manifest better lives for others, to make society a better society, to look at larger causes of the society, and for that the power, the authority, the influence has been given to you. So Mars is in the 7th house, when you need to be able to do more societal work for societal causes, working in a team environment, working with people, maybe working with a spouse. Your spouse may also come maybe from your friend circle. But how do you use that energy, the partnership with that synergy, to be able to do the higher denotation, the greater denotation of the soul, because Mars is the general for the soul. That is the meaning of Mars placement in the 11th house of your D9 chart. Now if Mars goes into the 12th house of your D9 chart, this is again a very, very strong placement for Mars, your 12th house, because here the general fights for the soul, and the soul's manifestation in the 12th house, that is, I want to be elevated to get into the hereafter. So your Mars are leading the sun, the soul, into the hereafter by fighting for the right causes, and rather than dissipating its energy in the wrong causes. So here, rather than looking at the carnal desires or bed pleasures which the 12th house represents, or spending money or wasting your effort on the carnal desires, materialistic desires, and spending effort and energy to live it up, to have a better quality of life, the carnal desires, the material desires, rather than that, look at the soul's manifestation of how you are able to add more value through leaving a legacy behind, where you are remembered long after that you are gone, through your service, through your work. And that work can be done for masses, huge masses, through donation, through charity, through working for hospitals, for working for the armed forces, to defending your motherland. So working for large causes, and through that creating more meaning for your life at a soul's level, where large masses are able to benefit from your existence, rather than at a carnal desire, at a materialistic desire. And that is the meaning and manifestation of Mars in the 12th house of your D9 chart. Now see the higher manifestation of Mars, where it is placed in your D1 chart. Say Mars is placed in the 8th house of your D1 chart, which means that how you are able to overcome challenges and issues and obstructions which life is going to throw at you, and find a deeper meaning of life. Using that experience, using that learning, you will use that learning, that experience to be able to leave a better legacy for others, to use your learning, to use your challenges, your issues, and to be able to get more sensitive about those issues and help in the same issues to other people. to work for charities, to work for donations, and to work for those organizations who will be helping people in the matters of the 8th house in emergencies and issues and challenges. So that is the deeper manifestation of Mars going into the 12th house of your D9 chart. It is one of the strongest denotations of the soul's elevation to the year after. So friends, now that we have talked about Mars place in the different houses of your D9 chart, look at where your Mars is placed in which house in your D9 chart, connected to which house and which sign it is placed in your D1 chart, and look at the signs meanings also, understand the houses meanings also, understand the higher meaning, the deeper manifestation of Mars placement, because here Mars is the general for the soul. Whenever you fight the larger masses, whenever you fight for the larger causes of the soul, here the soul will benefit rather than only at a material level. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.